Hey everyone, I just recorded a really great cooking video with Dr. Patricia Thomson, also known as Dr. T. I've had her on previously. We did some bowls that were filled with ingredients that were supportive for mental health. I'm going to include the link to that below this video. Dr. T has also been on that vegan morning show, and I'm also going to include the link to that as well. So if you haven't seen any of my previous interviews with her, I just wanted to take a moment to read her bio. And before I do that, we talk about a really important topic that's near and dear to my heart right now, which is perimenopause and also menopause. So right now I'm in the middle of perimenopause, so I was really inspired to have this conversation. And Dr. T is really, really knowledgeable on this. She talks about all types of interesting facts and just understanding what's going on with your body during this time, as well as foods that can help manage symptoms. And so she makes this really delicious sounding recipe called Me Chickpeas. And I make my hot soy milk drink that I make before I go to bed. Here's my mug that says, "Please be patient with me." I'm from the 1900s. So I just made that, but I'm not going to drink it now because I don't want to go to sleep. But anyway, before I show you our cooking video together, I just wanted to take a minute to read her bio. So Dr. Patricia Thomson, aka Dr. T, is a dynamic educator, speaker, and advocate whose work is rooted in science, service, and a passion for wellness. With a doctorate focused on toxicology and environmental biology, she brings a deep understanding in how food and environmental factors impact the body at the cellular level. In addition to her doctorate, Dr. T has earned multiple certifications in plant-based nutrition, culinary instruction, medicinal plants, and health coaching, equipping her to guide individuals and community towards sustainable, evidence-based health practices. She is the author of WFPB, a step-by-step guide to adopting a whole food plant-based lifestyle, a practical and empowering resource for those seeking better health through nutrition. Dr. T has developed and led a wide range of educational initiatives, from grassroots workshops to national medical summits, delivering more than 500 talks on plant-based nutrition, lifestyle medicine, toxicology, and nonprofit leadership. Through her work through Wellness 20 and the Capital Region Vegan Network, Dr. T continues to drive meaningful change, empowering others to take control of their health, advocating for nonprofit leadership, and building a healthier world. I highly recommend you checking out Dr. T's website, as well as the Capital Region Vegan Network. They are located in Albany, New York. And with that, go check out our episode. So, welcome back, Patricia. It's nice to
Yay.
see you. Always
Um,
fun hanging out in the kitchen with you.
it is. It's always fun with you. Thank you for having me. And this is a really great topic. I'm so glad that you brought this up, and we decided to do a little show about it and do some recipes and just talk a little bit about some of the factual stuff and some of the science around food and around the way that we live, our lifestyle, and how it really does affect all of these things. And um, so we're going to talk today about perimenopause and menopause. And I remember when I was first diagnosed with perimenopause, I didn't know what she was talking about. She's like, "Oh, you have perimenopause, and I'll see you in a couple of months, whatever." And then that was it. And I was
Yeah.
like, what is perimenopause? Is like periscope? Is that like, I don't know what it even is. It wasn't even a thing back then.
Yeah.
Because that was 20 years ago. And so I kind of stumbled through it and then stumbled through menopause, um and it really just boggles my mind how much information there is now out about it. But it's still a very mysterious process that women go through because very little studies were done on women and anything to do with women until, just in the past, decade or whatever. It's really sad that you think about a lot of the research is about oriented with men and not women. So now it's our time, and we're gonna uncover some of the mysteries today and give you some things that you can do. So, I think you and I are both about empowering women to take control of their own bodies and their own health,
Mhm.
and to give them the knowledge and the stepping stones where they can find more information and however deep they want to go, and then give them resources. And so that's what we're going to do today, right?
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you back because I recently stepped into or fell into very hard the whole perimenopause thing where I kind of would get like some hot flashes before my cycle,
Mhm.
but it wasn't so bad. And then last summer, I started having irregularities.
Mm.
It was discovered, I went to my OBGYN. I had a polyp in my uterus that had to get removed.
Ah.
And there was this whole, and then I go on Reddit. And oh, and the other thing too is my sleep has been horrible. Like it's progressively gotten worse. Like I'm up like 2:30 to 3:30 and I just can't go to sleep. And then I'm ready to fall back asleep around 5 a.m. So maybe get one more hour before I have to be up.
That's tough.
So, which I'll just quickly, we're going to do mine last, but my recipe is warm soy milk because I make this warm soy milk drink before I go to bed. It has maple syrup and turmeric and pumpkin pie spice and vanilla extract, and sometimes add a little coconut extract in there
Ooh,
too. And it tastes really good. Sometimes my son wants me to make it for him too because he just
that's
likes
okay.
it. You don't have to have perimenopause to drink
No,
it.
you don't.
Uh, but I have noticed that I have a better quality sleep
Hmm.
when I do drink this versus when I don't. It's still not perfect sleep,
Hmm.
but my sleep, I probably get like 4 to 5, like around 5 hours of sleep versus the 2 to 3 I was getting
Oh,
for like
that's a
six
big
months.
difference. That's like double.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's how bad it's been. So that's been my journey
Hmm.
with perimenopause so far. And yeah, so I'm so glad that you're here to really dive into this subject because I feel like it's very intimidating for
Yeah.
us women who are going through it.
Yeah.
And then we're also very busy,
Yep.
right? When you have families and jobs and businesses and just all the other whatever things you have going on in your life, you're expected to show up and do those things while also managing how you're feeling.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, women are really, we take on so much. We take
Yeah,
on not only us, but then everything around us, and we're kind of the emotional center for our families a lot of times, and
yeah,
kind of the practical and the planner and those kinds of things. And then, sometimes we put our health in the back seat and we forget about it. And then we just kind of white knuckle our way through stuff. And it's not really fair and it's not really healthy. And we shouldn't be doing that because there are resources out there, and we're going to talk about them today, like what you can do to ease some of these symptoms. And
yeah,
we're really going to focus on food today, but there are other things that you can do also, like lifestyle changes that can
yeah,
help with a lot of these symptoms and these journeys that we go through, perimenopause. And then perimenopause is very different than menopause because there's just different things happening in each of them that are very specific. But the things that we're going to, prepare today are things that you can make and incorporate the ingredients in other different kinds of meals to help you get through both. So that's going to be cool. Um, I don't I don't know if people even know like the definition of menopause. And basically it's the phase of a woman's life when their menstrual cycle stops. So, and perimenopause is when you have these lots of changes going on. You get your period really light, you get your period really heavy, you go through a couple of months without a period, you have hot flashes, night sweats, mood irritability, brain fog, and those things. And so your estrogen levels are just going up and down and all like bouncing like a pinball in a pinball
Mm-hmm.
machine, just boom, 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 boom. And it's very hard to, control your body when your estrogen levels are bouncing all over the place. I'm going to talk a little bit about estrogen too, because that's really the big piece. Um, and then and then having all those side effects doesn't help because you just can't think clearly. So to arm
Yeah.
yourself with information ahead of time, that's great. And perimenopause that you're going through can last from 2 to 7 years, and it can even
Great.
last, and it can even last longer. So I think I was diagnosed like at 45, and I didn't go all. I entered menopause probably when I was 55, and then 2 years, and then I was out. So it took 2 years, a little less than 2 years for me to go through menopause. Um, so remember estrogen. So estrogen is the key hormone in our female reproductive system, and that's really the um, the changes that are going on is our estrogen levels are just our body's going, are you ready to reproduce? No, you're not ready to. Are you done? Are you? No, I'm not done. You done? No, are you done? And that's estrogen's like keeps changing. It's like, okay, lower it. No, higher it. No, lower it. No, raise it. No, come over here. And then menopause is like, we're done. And then it's just like stopping everything. And it's a big change, especially
Yeah.
depends on how long you go through perimenopause. So irregular periods and hormonal changes, disrupted sleep, very, very characteristic, mood swings, hot flashes, and night sweats. Um, and also menopause can be characterized by some health issues as well. So if you have other uh, issues going on like diabetes or heart disease and everything, menopause can make those become chronic and life-threatening because of the estrogen changes. So one of the reasons why is because estrogen needs cholesterol in order to be produced. Okay. So while you're,
Mm-hmm.
in your early years, it's okay. Your cholesterol levels are being lowered because you have estrogen going on, being made, right? So as soon as your estrogen levels start to drop and your cholesterol levels go up, and that means that you're at a greater risk for heart disease and other
Mm-hmm.
issues, and diabetes, also metabolic syndrome and obesity. So during menopause, you also lose a lean body mass. And by lean body mass, I mean muscle, bones, organs, and tissues, and skin and water. You start to lose that lean body mass. And that's why people are diagnosed with different phases of osteoporosis because your bone mass starts to decrease. That's why it's so important to establish a good routine, exercise routine um, in your 40s, and then carry that through your 50s and carry it all the way through to prevent that bone loss and keep your heart health up and blah, blah, blah. Um, so, decreased estrogen levels play a role in reducing your metabolism because you lose muscle mass. So, your metabolism goes down, and that's how people gain weight because all of a sudden you're eating the same amount of food that you were and you're gaining weight and you're like, what's going on? I haven't even changed what I'm eating. It's because your metabolism has slowed because of what you're going through. So uh, especially abdominal weight gain, and that's probably the most riskiest for women because that is where you can start becoming susceptible to the chronic diseases. Um, But also there are other factors like genetics, like if your
Mm-hmm.
mother or her mother, how they went through menopause, and what's your physical makeup and what your lifestyle is. Like if you're very sedentary, then you're going to have more issues. If you have more physical activity, you don't. Um, but the one thread that goes through that is nutrition. And that's why we're here today, because doesn't matter what's happening as long as your nutrition, you really try to focus on getting a really healthy diet through all of that. and you don't want to deprive yourself. You don't want to go on diets. You want to
Yeah.
adopt a healthier eating lifestyle because you don't want to do restrictive. Something that I found very fascinating, and I discovered this several years ago, is that a lot of women that are going through perimenopause and after don't get enough protein intake. And
Mm.
so really for a 50-year-old woman who weighs around 140, you should be getting 51 grams of protein a day. And that's, if you're vegan or whole food plant-based, that means a lot of legumes and nuts and seeds and tofu and soy. Very, very important. And for you to get all of that protein in and not cut down on protein, and that's going to help you with your energy level and your muscles and all of that. So, like for me, I try to aim for 60 grams plus a day. So I'm
Mhm.
eating a lot of soy, tofu, things like that, and beans, but not junk food. And so people tend to start to eat more junk food if they have to get more protein. So they start drinking all those protein shakes and stuff that are filled with all kinds of junk. So don't do that. So let's see what else. Let's see what I want to. Oh, and then, so some things to remember when you're going through perimenopause are omega-3 fatty acids. So that means you want to eat plenty of nuts and seeds like flaxseed and hemp seed and chia seed, and nuts like walnuts are really, really good. Flaxseed is really, really good. So those are all important. Now I'm going to tell you why all of this is important in a minute. And then the other thing, so when your estrogen levels start to go down, it sends a signal to your hypothalamus that inflammation is happening. Your
Oh.
hypothalamus starts to regulate your body temperature, and that's where you get the hot flashes. So when your estrogen levels go down, hot flashes go up, then they go down, then they go up and then your hypothalamus is like, am I hot or am I cold? And it's constantly trying to regulate. And so you get body sweats, and then you're not really sleeping very well. So estrogen is directly related to like your brain. And I don't think people realize that when your estrogen levels go down, then it creates a brain fog, etc. And when you're in menopause, you're not getting any estrogen. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you get those fatty acids, especially. And then antioxidants, again, same thing, they're going to help. And then not eating processed foods and eating really like everything that you eat should be full of good stuff. Um,
Hmm.
so vitamin D, that's one of the things that we have to take a supplement of. And I advise everybody to talk to their healthcare professional and figure out the best source of vitamin D. It's going to be a supplement because we just don't make vitamin D. And if you are whole food plant-based or vegan, it's hard to get vitamin D from everybody really needs vitamin D because it's hard to get vitamin D nowadays because our food is so um, it's either supplemented or not supplemented. So we just need to
Hmm.
make sure that we take a vitamin D because we're not in the sun. We use sunscreen, so we're really blocking our natural source. All right, so that's that one. And then antioxidants, I talked about that. And then hot flashes. Um, so let's talk a little bit about soy because I'm going to be making a dish with soy in it. And I wanted to talk about that because it's kind of complicated in a way, not really, like mind-boggling, but so soy is basically a plant estrogen. It's not a human estrogen. It's called a phytoestrogen. Phyto mean plant. And
Hmm.
so it doesn't act like a full estrogen. It basically is a weak estrogen mimic. So it does a little bit, but not a lot. And so why it's so important, and people used to avoid eating it because they thought it was like a human estrogen. It's the same
Yeah.
powers as human estrogen, and it causes breast cancer and all kinds of problems. But actually, it's just the opposite. So when you eat soy, the soy molecule occupies the estrogen receptors in our bodies. And so then when there's estrogen flowing through our body, it can't lock in and start its effects. It blocks it. So when you're going through perimenopause, perimenopause, it's so important to have soy because then when you have those giant bouts of estrogen, it's not being able to do its destructive work right then because you
Hmm.
really don't need that much estrogen because you're heading out of reproductive years. So it's important to eat as much soy as you can. Not just eat it every day, but you want to eat it every day, but you want to eat it in moderation. Um,
Yeah.
so when estrogen levels are low, though, it can provide mild estrogen-like effects. So some estrogen's good. So when your estrogen falls down low in perimenopause and in menopause, you want a little bit of those effects still to be mimicked, right? Because otherwise, then you lose bone mass and you get more susceptible to a lot of different things. So it's important to just keep your steady diet of soy every day. And then when estrogen levels are high, it prevents the estrogen from binding. Okay, so it's good for both low and high estrogen. That's why it's called a selective estrogen receptor modulator, a SERM. Soy is equal to SERM because it
Mhm.
moderates the effects of estrogen. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So,
I I really love all of that. It's kind of like it's like a one-stop shop for something, right?
mhm,
And yes, there is sometimes a place for medications for various health things.
mhm,
Um, but there's a lot of things we can help our bodies with food.
mhm,
And it sounds like soy is one of those one of those ingredients that we can incorporate into our
mhm,
diets daily in some capacity that has a benefit, especially during this time. Because as you're sharing all this information about what's going on behind the scenes, it puts a lot of things in perspective because you feel
mhm.
like you're going crazy. Uh, right? You feel
Yeah,
like you're going crazy and it can be really overwhelming. And so hearing you share what's going on behind the scenes, it puts things in perspective. It makes it make sense. Anyone listening, watching who's going through this, you're not crazy.
you're
Your
not.
body's just going through big changes.
Yeah. And it soy actually helps stabilize your brain, so it's affecting your hypothalamus as well. Um, and it decreases the intensity of hot flashes. It serves as
Hmm.
a thermoregulator. So this is all documented in science, like studies. And
Hmm.
so many studies have come out now and studied the effects of soy on women and going through. And I have to say that I became a vegan, I don't even know, 15 years ago. So I was in perimenopause, entering menopause, and I was all over the place. And within like 2 years, everything stabilized. And I was able to continue going through perimenopause, breeze through menopause, and come out the other side. And
That's great.
and I didn't have what I was having. I mean, it was bizarre. I'd be
Hmm.
sweating. And then after I started that, then other women was like, I'd be in a meeting and people are peeling off their clothes and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not getting any hot flashes anymore. And I'm feeling pretty stable. Like I was like a
Hmm.
maniac. 1 minute I'd be laughing, next minute I'd be sobbing my eyes out. And I wasn't doing that anymore. I,
Yeah.
I really had an easy pass. So I really kind of cleaned up my diet and really focused on whole foods and got some exercise. And I think that really, really does help. And I'm not saying that it's a miracle, but it is. It helped me personally. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm such a proponent for giving people these options that you can do in conjunction with whatever your doctor suggests, but try it out with some food first and see how you do, because it's not like you're eating medicine. You're just eating food and see if it
Right.
helps. Like give it a couple of months because it does take a little while. So anyway, that I mean the science says soy can reduce hot flashes by 20 to 50%. And that to me is a deal breaker because I think that's really important. Um, and they do say women with moderate to severe symptoms tend to see the greatest improvement. And the other thing is that soy helps your gut produce these certain metabolites
Hmm.
in your gut bacteria. And then it also then responds to your brain and then your bone density and cardiovascular health and LDL reduction and your arteries and your blood vessels increase in flexibility. So those are pretty cool. Those are pretty cool things. Um,
Definitely.
so, and then other things, regular exercise, get supplements when you need to, limit processed foods and limiting caffeine and alcohol, which women don't want to hear. So I'm just going to tell you that it can improve your sleep and reduced alertness, but I still need my chai tea in the morning, and I don't drink, so but I know a lot of my friends they need that glass of wine or whatever. So I'm not saying that they're bad people, but alcohol is a carcinogen. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what
It
that's.
I don't drink often, but it
Mhm.
does trigger an inflammatory response if I
Yeah,
have like a glass of wine or
me
something
too.
here and there. Okay, like I'll drink socially once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
and I don't feel so great after. Like it triggers
Hmm.
eczema in me and my rosacea sometimes,
Yeah.
and so I try not to have it very often.
Yeah, me too. I really do try not to. I don't even have to try. I just don't.
Hmm.
I go out with everybody and I always just have ginger ale or water and I'm fine. I don't. So some of the things that people may notice, when they're going through perimenopause and menopause, and maybe they don't realize this, but your blood sugar becomes less stable. Okay.
Mm.
Your insulin resistance increases. That's why a lot of people get diagnosed with diabetes during perimenopause and menopause. It automatically increases your inflammation in your body. And that's
Mm.
why that's going to be very important for what you're going to make later. Your belly fat increases, estrogen recycling becomes less efficient. So the estrogen stays in your body and just keeps recycling and doing its damage. And I'm going to talk about why that is good for what we're going to make today. Your gut diversity declines, constipation becomes more common, cholesterol rises, and mood and sleep are more fragile. Gee, that's so much fun. So I'm
That
going to start.
explains a lot. That really explains a lot because I have been I my father passed away at the end of 2023 or 2022, and I gained a lot. I gained some weight,
Mhm,
like 30 pounds. Like I already
mhm.
had gained 10 pounds from COVID that I couldn't get off.
Yeah,
And then on top of
everybody
that, I
did.
gained like this 30 pounds
Aw.
and from just emotionally eating, dealing with that crazy time. And it's hard to come off. And because I do work from home and it's
Mm,
hard sometimes to be as active as I want to,
yep.
but I'm still like I used to be able to lose weight in my 20s
Just like that, right?
like that. And even when I'm working at it's like that's it, that's all that came off,
I've
right?
been
And
dieting for 3 months and I lost a pound.
right, yeah, and it's so hard and I've had to work on my mindset
Hmm.
around weight and just be, focus on exercise as
Hmm.
just something healthy to energize my body
Yep.
instead
Very
of
important.
trying to use it as something that, is going to, it has alleviated that pressure. It's not
Hmm.
easy. It's taken some time for me to get to that place. Um, but I've just, I try to be active when I can.
Hmm.
I don't beat myself up as much when I'm not as active. And just trying, it's always a work, it's hard to, especially again as women, we're busy doing things. So whatever you can squeeze into the day to take care of yourself, whether it's a 10-minute walk, listen to music in the car that you love that, uplifts you, or a podcast, even taking a shower for 10 minutes and not talking to anyone, right?
Yeah.
That can be meditative, right? So, whatever it is that you can find time to take care of yourself, it's all helpful. But what's helped me is instead of looking exercise as, oh, I have to do this to lose weight, it's, oh, I notice I feel better when I do it. And so I look at it as just this is something I'm doing to energize my body.
Hmm.
So I've been working on that relationship with exercise and all of that. But it's tough.
That's a great perspective. I really like that because I think women are constantly criticizing themselves. We're our own worst critics.
We
Um,
are.
and then like, we'll go on these diets and everything. And then, my husband will skip one meal and lose 20 pounds, and I just remember that like I was on Weight Watchers a long time ago and I was trying
Yeah.
to diet, just because I wanted to lose some weight and men can lose weight so much readily. I just don't,
Yeah.
it's not fair. It's
It's
not
really
fair.
not.
I want to change the rules. Um, so anyway, I think it's really important that we take care of ourselves. We don't judge ourselves. We give
Yeah.
ourselves some grace, pat ourselves on the back for getting through a day. And um, so one of the things that I stopped walking for the past few weeks because it's been so terribly icy. And so
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want, all my friends have fallen and broken things. I'm like, I don't
Oh
want to fall.
no.
So me and my husband, we had joined the Y and we weren't going. And so then we started, I had him come with me. And so now we go to a yoga class on Sunday morning. We go to a strength training class on Wednesday mornings. And I swear, like you get up in the morning, you're like, I don't know if I really feel like going to yoga, or I don't really feel like going to strength training. But then because he's going and I'm going, we both either, it depends on who's not in the mood to go, we go.
Hmm.
And so it's good to get like an exercise buddy or a walk buddy or somebody. I've always walked by myself and exercised by myself, but it's a little different now because I feel it's so cold. You don't feel like going out.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that, and for the past like several weeks, and I have to say that every time I walk out of those classes, I'm like, I feel so much better. And just like you said, like even a 10-minute walk makes you feel better. And sometimes
Yeah.
the 10-minute walk ends up to be a 20-minute walk because you're listening to something and it's really fascinating, some murder or whatever that I always listen to. And it's a crime show or a self-help. Mel Robbins is always good. So anyway, you realize, oh wow, I've been out here for 20 minutes. So, but I think
Yeah.
that just the 10-minute thing, I swear, even a shower is nice just to get yourself feeling like you're pampering yourself, I think is so important. So let's remember to do that. I was
Absolutely. And I just wanted to add in there too. Sometimes if I'm watching TV, like in
Mhm,
the morning, if I don't I try to catch up on the news in the morning,
mhm.
and I'll sometimes jog in place for 10 minutes while watching the news, right? Or even
Great.
5 minutes, right? Just try to do a little bit of jogging, or you can just march in place too, right? Like any kind of movement instead of sitting on the couch watching TV,
Yeah.
just kind of like do this
Or
even,
even
and it's
dancing.
something.
A lot of times I've been putting on my music just on my phone and then I
Hmm.
cook and I'm dancing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now I'm getting exercise and even cooking is good because you're lifting and reaching
And you
and
are
bending.
walking around
Yeah.
back and forth in the
Yeah.
kitchen. So it all definitely,
Yeah.
definitely counts. So what are you making today?
This is such a good recipe. I'm really excited about it. It's not my recipe. It's Marry Me Chickpeas.
I like
Um,
the title.
I do too. I was like, so if you make this, anybody will marry you. So that's great. If you're looking to get married, this is the meal to make. My best friend made this a few weeks ago and we ate over her house and we were like, what is this? And she's like, it's called Marry Me Chickpeas. I'm like, I am making that. And then when you and I were talking about what we could make, I came across this. I was like, oh, that's right. I'm going to make this because it's got a lot of the components that help our inflammation
Hmm.
and all of that's good stuff. And
Great.
plus, it's delicious. And whoever you make it for will love you forever.
Sounds great. And you sent me the recipe in advance, so I will put it in the notes below the video
Okay.
so you can check out the recipe
Okay.
down there.
It comes together pretty quickly. So I'm gonna start. Oh, let's see what I have to do first. So it has a little cashew cream in it.
Hmm.
So what I do is I buy raw cashews. You have to use raw cashews.
Yep.
And this is just requires like quarters of a cup. And I have already soaked them just because I wanted everything to go fast for today. If you have a good blender, you don't need to soak them. If you have an average blender, you may want to soak them. You know best on like what your blender will do.
Hmm.
I think I add Let me see here. Do, do, do. Oh, add 1 cup. So you add 1 cup of water to your 3/4 cup of, I've never made this by myself before. So this is,
All right.
and miso. And so then this is miso paste. You can see, this is a chickpea miso paste. You can get all kinds of different, or you could get a lentil miso, and it's just fermented beans, basically. This is
And,
fermented chickpeas.
and what I've learned recently about miso, is I used to stay away from it because it's high in sodium, but I learned that it actually doesn't process the same way as other items with high sodium.
I'm glad you brought that up because people say that all the time to me. So thank you. That's very important. So people
Yeah,
do
I
stay
learned
away
that
from
from
it.
Dr. Greger, actually.
Oh, he's a wealth of information, that guy, I swear.
Yeah,
So I just added, it says a pinch of salt, but I don't think it's going to need it. I
no,
don't ever
especially with
add
the
salt to
miso.
anymore my meals. So if you want to talk, you want to put me on mute so I can blend this?
I may or may not come through because I think
Oh,
last time you did blending,
oh,
because there is a video that we did a couple months ago, and I'm going to put the link below in the notes below too, in case anyone wants to check that out. It didn't come through, so we'll see. And it
okay.
does while I'll edit it out or something.
Okay. So this is, you got your protein from your nuts right here, and then the miso is a great ferment for your gut. It's only going to smells good. Okay, so I made the cashew cream. I'm just going to set that aside because
Okay.
that'll be an ingredient in the main thing. So now what I'm going to do is I have this skillet, and I'm going to saute some onion, which is a great anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. Um, so onions and garlic are really important in our diet, so we should add them whenever we can. And
Mm-hmm.
all the active ingredient that you smell, the sulfury smell, is actually the thing that helps prevent cancer and cuts down on inflammation. And I don't use any oil when I cook. I water saute. So as things
Mm-hmm.
get hot, I just add a little bit of water and then I stir it around again. And I wish that I had an overhead camera. I'm just not that sophisticated. I could probably
Same,
figure it
I
out.
don't either, but it looks great. And I don't have the perfect setup for cooking stuff, but I'm like, I want to share information, so I'm just going to use what I have.
Yep.
And if people want to tune in, they'll tune in.
Yep. And this is this cookware that I have. I teach my classes with it because I don't have to rely on a stove somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can just plug it in and go. And then I have my Instapots, which I use too. So you don't have to have any equipment. You just cook it on. You can make the same thing on the stove. That's basically what I'm doing. So I'm just going to cook this for a little bit. I'm going to turn this up a little bit so it cooks a little faster. I'm going to cook the onion and then for about 4 to 6 minutes. And I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in there. And then right
Okay.
after that, then I add tomato paste, garlic, oregano, and red pepper flakes and cook for another couple of minutes. And then I add the chickpeas and then cook all that together. And then basically what I do is, and then I add sun-dried tomatoes. So I have a cup of sun-dried tomatoes that I soaked also just to speed up the cooking. But this is such an easy meal to throw together because there's really no chopping because the sun-dried tomatoes are in itself. I bought chopped onions from Hannaford's, which
Oh, great.
they're frozen. And so I use these in a pinch. Like if I have time, I'll cut up a regular onion, but I love to keep these available. Like if I have to make a quick meal, because then I don't have to do any chopping. And they're in the freezer section in Hannaford's, and I think they're in Price Chopper as well. I'm not sure, but whenever we go to Hannaford's, I load up, like I get 10 bags. And my
That's,
husband goes, "You're going to use all that?" And I'm like, "Yes."
well, onions can go pretty much in anything. Like
Yeah.
I get frozen ginger sometimes. Like you
Oh
can get the
yeah.
pre like and it's like pre-portioned. Any ways that you can like save time. You can eat like it's like healthy fast food, right? Healthy
Yeah.
instant food.
I
I
agree.
get the pre-washed, pre-chopped greens a lot of the
Oh
time.
yeah.
I'll buy the pre-shredded purple cabbage because I don't have time to cut up
Right.
cabbage.
It
So,
is. I think those are really good points because I think people think to eat healthy, you're going to spend all day in the kitchen, and that's not
yeah.
necessarily true. You can spend as
Yeah.
much time and as little time as you want and make a healthy meal. Um,
Yeah, I'm usually, if I'm very busy during the week, I'll make a big salad.
mm,
And I'm the only vegan in my house, but everyone eats salad and can put it on a side of their meal, or I'll just make a whole meal out of the salad. I'll take like some tofu or what beans or whatever. If I have a few little leftovers of things, little blobs of stuff, I'll just make like a big salad bowl with it all. And so,
oh, that's great. That's a great
it's a
idea.
great way to like use up leftovers and, it just simplifies things.
I like that. Um, I should probably put oh, whatever.
Oh,
No,
one other thing I wanted to add is so I have a tomato sensitivity. And one of the things that I've been doing and I've shared on my platform a few times, is I make this beet ketchup at home and I use it as
oh,
like a tomato sauce replacement. And I've shared about it before and I've had people appreciate it because there's other people who can't have tomatoes, like from the acid. And so what
oh,
I
that's
do is I'll
great.
take like a can of unsalt or no salt added beets and I'll add like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a
Huh?
tablespoon of maple syrup, and like a teaspoon of onion powder. Blend
Hmm.
it all up, and it turns into a ketchup. And then if I want to make it into a pasta sauce, I'll add some basil to it. Or onion, like you can do other things to make it, you can kind of adapt it to different things. Or I'll use it if I'm making Indian food and it requires tomato paste. I'll put
Oh,
that in there. So I'm sure I could do the same thing with this
yeah.
dish. And
Yeah.
it does the job and it helps. So I just wanted to throw that tip out there. If there's anyone watching and they have they can't have tomatoes, try the beet try
Yeah, there are
making
a
a
little
beet
bit,
sauce.
there is a little bit of well, there's the sun-dried tomatoes, which I wonder, do you think you're still sensitive to sun-dried?
That's a good question. I haven't tried, and I got tested. I'm not allergic, but what
Okay.
happens is I'll get a weird sensation in my throat where I feel like
Mm,
I can't swallow
that's
for
not
a
good.
second, and then I'll get like itchy, like I'll start getting like a rash.
Oh,
And so I got tested. I'm not allergic officially. Once in a while, I might have something if it's got a little bit of stuff in it. And I've also noticed if it's fresh tomato, it doesn't bother me versus like
canned
tomato sauce.
processed meat.
Yeah. So that's another thing I've noticed. So it's interesting. I wonder if there's a way to like, add something else without the sun-dried tomato, or
That's
I
what
could try
I'm
it.
thinking about, like, I don't know if like dates or figs or I don't, I'm trying to think.
Ooh, you know what? I bet figs would be really good in
Yeah,
something like
I
that
think
because
figs would be
figs are
dried
really
figs.
good. They can add like an element of sweetness. You're
Yeah,
adding fiber. I mean,
yeah,
dates would probably work too, but I think like figs would probably be a
yeah,
nice touch. So I need to make this dish and I'll make a tomato-free version of it. And then
yeah.
I
Do
need and
it.
I think I'll try it with figs because I think that would be a really good substitute.
That
So
sounds good.
while you're cooking that, I guess I could talk about my dish,
Yeah.
which is very easy. So I like to get the organic soy, right? There's a lot of, some people there's it's kind of calmed down, but I remember a few years ago everyone's like soy is bad, soy is bad. But you want to get organic soy
Hmm.
to make sure that it's the better kind for your body. So I pour a cup of soy milk in here, and I have to share my favorite mug. It says, please be patient with me. I'm from the 1900s.
Wow, that cracks me up.
So there's the soy milk in
I'm so
there.
excited about that. I'm so excited about that.
I'm sure you can find it. So then I add like a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This one's stained because I somehow always spill things everywhere. So, um, and then also sometimes I add a little coconut extract in there as well. So I'm
I
gonna
like
do both.
coconut. I like
So I do
coconut and
like you could
extract.
do like a teaspoon, like a teaspoon of the vanilla, and I'll do like a half a teaspoon of the coconut, and then turmeric. Now, turmeric has a lot of health benefits.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to talk about some of that with why turmeric is so good for us? Like I know it can help reduce inflammation.
That's one of the key things is that the curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric. And it's one of the best anti-inflammatories. So remember when I was telling you how uh, menopause and perimenopause, the estrogen messes with your hypothalamus
Yeah.
and causes inflammation. Well, turmeric acts to counter that. So when you're drinking, you putting turmeric in your food or drinking that what you're going to make, that is like one of the best things that you can do to counteract. And that's probably why your sleep has improved because your
Hmm.
body's not trying to, we're under attack. Call all the
Right.
inflammation
Right.
recruits. And
That's
you're what you're doing is you're calming your system down. You're saying it's okay. And you're really affect because curcumin crosses the blood-brain barrier. And
oh, okay.
that's why it's such a strong anti-inflammatory.
Oh.
Anytime that you can get turmeric in your diet, but make sure, and I think you're going to talk about that, to add pepper with it because that's the active
I
that
actually don't have, I wasn't going to add pepper with it, but I
oh
forgot about that. I have heard that it's good to add pepper with that.
yeah, because that helps carry it. It's a kind of a
Hmm.
carrier. And also like you're including fat with the turmeric as well, the soy milk that's
Hmm.
got fat in it. And so that you want to include the turmeric with some kind of fat
Oh, okay.
carrier as well. So that's good.
That's good.
Um,
That's good to know. And then, yeah, have a pumpkin pie spice. I just sprinkle some in. Like I don't really measure that. I just kind of sprinkle it in. And then I put in a tablespoon of maple syrup. Um, and then I just mix it up and I stick in the microwave for like a minute. And what's also great about this, it's kind of like drinking something indulgent before going to bed, right?
mhm,
It's kind of like, sometimes I want something sweet. Well, this is a way to kind of like, I feel like I'm drinking something indulgent.
mhm.
That's actually good for me. So I just put it in the microwave for like a minute and a half. Actually, no, I put it in for like a minute and a half. I forgot. Let's see. Yeah, minute and a half gives it um the right temperature for me. And then I watch some TV before I go to bed and I drink that.
So it also helps regulate your serotonin and your dopamine.
Oh,
So
okay.
those are the signaling it goes to the brain, just telling the brain to calm down. That's how the biochemistry of the turmeric acts. So it's a serotonin promoter. It makes you calm and and decreases your dopamine. So serotonin is something really, really important that we overestimate its importance. So that also regulates your hot flashes and your night sweats and anxiety and depression um, decreases with that. So
Mhm.
it's a pretty, everybody should have turmeric every day. Somehow this is slowed
So
down.
that is that. That is my bedtime drink. I'm just gonna stir the ingredients a little more.
So this is, if you can see, I'm
Ooh.
getting a nice browned, golden brown onion with the tomato. I added oregano and red pepper flakes. to
I
kind of
bet it
get like,
smells amazing in your kitchen right now.
smells really good. So now I'm getting ready to is it the chickpea. Show us your, can you show us what that looks like?
Yeah, so there's my drink.
Ooh, that looks really good. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, yep, so that's that. And yeah, it's I'm gonna take one taste. It's delicious, and I'm gonna save this for when I'm actually ready to go to bed. And I'll just
Because
reheat
otherwise
it.
you're going to be asleep in the middle of the night.
Right? I
Jen,
have a
wake up.
lot to do before I can actually sit
Yeah,
down and enjoy this.
yeah,
So
I hear you. Um, so now I'm going to add the chickpeas since this is a chickpea, and it says not to rinse them, so I drain them. I always use organic when I can, but you don't have
mhm.
to. You can actually make your own chickpeas. So it's 2 cans of chickpeas.
Great.
My husband's going to be happy with this meal because he really loved it. Um, and the other thing is, so I make my own no chicken broth mix.
Oh,
So that's what this is. And I just need 1 tablespoon and I mix it in with water and I make my own broth.
that's fantastic. So is that like so you use your own spices at home and you
Yep.
make your own. Oh,
I
wow, that's great.
nutritionally. And then I'm going to add 1 cup to this recipe. I actually made this mixture for my best friend for Christmas,
Oh,
and
wow.
she just loves it. It really is very flavorful. Because I can't stand the waste of buying those cartons, and I just, but it's easy. This is very easy. I don't have to. This takes no time. 1 tablespoon to 1 cup of water. It takes me less time than it would to open up a container. So,
Is that
and
a recipe you'd be willing to share?
it's on my website.
Oh, okay, great. So you know what? I will include the link. Well, I'm going to include the link to your website anyway, but
Okay.
I'll also include the link specifically for that recipe so
Okay.
people can find it.
Yep.
Um, and are there any classes coming up? Like right now we're recording this. This is February 17th. It's going to go up the following week. So when everyone's watching this, it'll be whatever next Wednesday is, which is the 25th. How is it already February 25th next
I
week?
don't know because I'm already looking into March. I'm like, but wait a minute. I feel like I feel like January skipped to the end of February.
Yeah, I don't know where it went.
I don't
And
understand what's
so,
going
but do you
on.
have any classes coming up anytime
Well, the
soon?
one that they will miss is this Thursday. We're having an Indian cooking class here,
Oh.
and it's already filled, and so it's going to be fun. We're going to make butter chicken, fake chicken, butter
Hmm.
tofu chicken or something. It's all Indian. We're making homemade naan. I'm making chai. I'm showing everybody how to like grind it with all the spices and
Oh.
everything because that's what I do every day. But you'd
I
want to
have
make
to drive to Albany for one of your classes one of these days.
one day you can come here and we can film.
Oh,
and
that
we
would
can
be fun.
and we can cook together.
That would be a lot of fun. I would love that. And then I'll bring all my lighting and all my equipment and we'll try to make it fancier.
It'd be like, wow, we're really coming up in the world.
Yeah, right?
Or it would be good for us to teach a class, co-teach a class. That's another thing that we could do is we could teach a class here because I have lots of room. So like we have 15 people. We're in my kitchen. My
Oh,
kitchen is
wow.
not it's not big, but we designed it very well. I needed stations, and that's what we kind of did because we have very limited space. Um,
I would love that. Anytime you let me know, and I would love to do that. Thank
we're
you.
doing a
I always enjoy our conversations and our
I do too.
collaborations.
We don't even have to like, I don't, we just talk and we both are so knowledgeable. We just kind of bring all of our stuff in. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna cook this for 4 to 6 minutes. So then I wanted to, can I mention something else? The
absolutely.
the one key thing. Um, Let me just lower this a little bit. So if you take away one thing from today, um, it's the importance of fiber. because
Yeah.
fiber is the key, because what it does is helps regulate estrogen levels. So between the soy and the fiber, which is in everything that we've made, okay, today, everything that I put in this thing has fiber in it. Any vegetable, any fruit, any grain, any potato, pasta, all that, they all have fiber in it. Because what happens is estrogen goes through your bloodstream and then goes through your liver, and then passes out. And if there is no fiber there to pick it up, to get it out of your body, it just keeps recycling. So that's why it's so
Mm.
important to have fiber in your diet. It binds all your extra estrogen in your gut and gets it out. Um, it also it signals to your brain, hey, we got low estrogen now, everything's okay. Don't stop the inflammation, stop it. Um, and that's why it's important, because estrogen spikes and crashes, and it's important to have the fiber in your body so that it can help maintain. So it improves insulin sensitivity, lowers inflammation, supports stable blood sugar, which is so important for diabetics and pre-diabetics. And it enhances your gut diversity, because your gut
Hmm.
controls your entire body. So your blood sugar, when your blood sugar spikes, it causes inflammation and does a lot of damage. So every time your blood sugar spikes, it's causing damage, and that reduces it. And so then when that happens, it triggers your hot flashes and night sweats. So when you have a lot of fiber, it reduces your night sweats and hot flashes. So the more fiber you have, the fewer hot flashes, you'll less severe night sweats and better temperature stability. You won't get those temperature fluctuations that we all have. And that's kind of what I say to everybody in all my
Hmm.
classes. Fiber, when it comes down to, they always want to know the magic bullet. Well, it's fiber. And the only place you're going to get fiber is in non-animal products. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's good for, that's why eating a whole food plant-based diet
mm,
is one of the best things you can do for your health.
yeah.
And I, I'm also a vegan, and sometimes I'm not whole food plant-based, so I'll get a vegan treat, right? I'll get like
Yep.
ice cream.
Mhm.
So it's not like, oh, I can't eat anything, I can't treat myself. Like I'll find vegan ice cream or eat cookies or something. But by eating mostly whole food plant-based, I find myself usually fulfilled. Like I'm not craving anything that I can't make healthy. Because there's so many healthy versions of things that you can make. And again, a lot of what we eat is about textures and the spices
Mhm.
and you can make for example, you can make like a Snicker bar substitute with dates,
Right.
peanut butter, and dip it in some vegan chocolate chips.
Mhm.
It tastes like a candy bar, but it's not the same junk. So you can get the same
Mhm.
tastes and flavors and textures, and your brain's happy. It's just
Right.
you're putting something better in
Yeah.
there.
It is your brain. It tastes it and it's like, oh, that's good. You're eating something bad, but you're
Right,
not.
exactly. And that's what drew me into whole food plant-based years ago
Mhm.
was, oh, like I can eat healthy without feeling deprived.
Mhm. I'm adding tofu to this. I crumpled.
Oh, nice.
So I like this high protein tofu, super
Oh,
firm.
okay. Yeah,
You don't really.
I think I have that in my fridge.
It's so cool because I could just stick it. You could throw it in your freezer too. So I always have tofu, and I like it because it's firm and it doesn't contain a lot of
Yep.
water.
Yeah,
And
that's the one I get as
so
well.
I crumpled it, and I'm going to add this to. You don't have to add tofu, but I like to add the tofu because it gives it that extra protein. Um, and then also the soy. So it keeps
That
my.
looks so delicious. I wish I could just give you a
I
bowl
really
through the
I really
Zoom.
feel bad because I wish you could taste it.
I
It's not
haven't eaten
very
dinner yet,
tomatoey. That I
so.
only added 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I don't know if that, and then yeah, of course the dried sun-dried tomatoes, but I think if you put figs in it, it would be really kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm going to
Tell me how that
experiment with my beet sauce and figs, and then I'm going to let you know how that came out.
you're gonna do that in your spare time, right?
Yeah. Well, Dr. T, it's been so great hanging out with you. Oh,
Oh,
was there
that's
any? Oh,
great.
that's right, the cream.
Forgot
Can't
about the
forget the
cream.
cream.
Don't forget the cream.
Oh, that looks so good.
That's it. And then I'm just going to top it with basil. Okay.
That looks delicious. Yeah, I can't wait to see the finished product. Is
I'll,
there
I'll take a picture of it.
before we wrap up and while you're finishing cooking that, um, is there anything you want to promote or, share how people can connect with you?
So I participated in that blog challenge that you recommended.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah, we both did the blog challenge.
yeah, so I did 31 posts on all kinds of topics so people can check out when they go to my website, they can look at my Dr. T's blog section and there's tons of information and like I always include references in most of my stuff. So check that out. And there's recipes in there too, so you can look up recipes. And I think this broth thing is in there in that section.
Oh,
I'll let you know what
great.
that is. But anyway, and we have another cooking class in March. It's going to be spring oriented. I think we're doing Thai spring rolls.
Ooh,
We're doing a masala. We're doing a masaman curry and a another Indian dish.
I might,
Anyway,
I'll have to look at that and look at my schedule because
I think
that
it's
would,
a Friday. A Friday,
oh, okay.
March 20 something. I can tell you what date it is if you want to know real quick. Day after Ramadan's over. It's either the 20th or the 27th.
Okay. And is that on the Capital Region Vegan
Yep.
Network website?
Yep. We'll be posting that. So anyway, yeah. So
Okay, great.
remember when this meal just adds a little bit of basil and I've been growing basil. So I have like a little bit of fresh basil that I'm gonna
Oh, nice.
put over there. So anyway, okay, that's it.
I love growing fresh herbs because I find when I buy them at the store, they die before I get to them.
Sometimes they die before I get home.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
So
whoops.
by having them growing, like in the summertime, I have like I'll grow like herbs on the balcony, and it's so nice because it's fresh and I have it throughout the summer. I just have to
Mhm.
find space inside. I also have a cat that could get into my plants, so.
I put it on the windowsill, but this is very funny because this was just a little leaf of my pepper
Aw.
plant that had broken off. And I
Oh,
stuck
how
it in
cute.
water and it started growing roots. And now it has a pepper growing on it.
Oh my goodness, how cute is that?
I can't,
I
it's
never thought
very,
you could actually grow a pepper like so tiny
I
and
can't understand what's going on, but I love it.
aw, it's a
He's
happy
so cute.
pepper.
He's very happy with the basil. They're friends. Anyway,
Aw, that's
all
so
right.
cute.
Thank you so much for having me. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
absolutely. And then
It always
yeah,
goes so fast,
I know.
doesn't it?
I can't believe we've been hanging out for a little over an hour
I
already.
know. I know.
Time certainly flies. This was really informative. Anytime you want to come back and talk about some other topic and
Hey.
do recipes, let me know.
Yeah.
And I would love to come and cook with you sometime.
Yeah, that would
So
be fun.
in person. And we're both in New York State, like an hour and a half apart. So
Yeah.
it's not too far. Uh,
No, no. We could do it like on a Saturday afternoon or something so that
yeah.
you can get home before, well, then by then it won't get dark so early, but it wouldn't
Yeah,
be
like a weekend
right,
day would work for
right,
sure. That
right.
would be
Yeah.
fun.
And you're
But yeah, Dr.
okay.
T, so great hanging out
Thanks,
with you.
Jen.
I'll include all the links to the Capital Region Vegan Network, to your website, and to recipes. And I'll also put the recipe information in the notes below as well. And with that,
Thank you.
we'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now.